Happy Friday. It is already after 12 o'clock and I have not done any recording today. This morning I had a very early appointment with a new gastroenterologist. If you don't know me in real life or are new to knowing me, um, I have lived with some chronic stomach problems for 14 years. With a variety of different tests and doctors and medicines and all kinds of things, and I've never really found anything that substantially improves things other than just waiting it out until it gets better. And never really got a clear diagnosis or explanation for why I was struggling so much. So my current primary care and my therapist were both really encouraging me to deal with some of the symptoms that I'm comfortable just living with, but aren't great for my health. So it was good. It was a good appointment. I felt like she was very much an expert who knew exactly what she was talking about, and she had a lot of good information, things I didn't know, and scheduled some tests for January just to make sure everything's okay and continue with the sort of process of elimination for a diagnosis. I think it sounds like it's probably IBS, but you can't have that diagnosis until you've eliminated every other option. So the testing is really just to confirm that there's nothing else going on so that we can go ahead and treat it like IBS, which is what she thinks is going on. She also gave me a whole slew of other medicines to take. So I'm going to be doing that, and maybe it's TMI to talk about my potential IBS, but it's my life and one of the many other chronic illnesses I live with, so it feels weird not to talk about it. I also didn't record a lot at the end of the day yesterday. I did go to Hobby Lobby, but I ended up walking around Hobby Lobby for 2.5 hours. I don't know. I had a weird energy, and I kept deciding things I needed, and then I would look all over for them and then not find them and then go look at something else, and it was just kind of round and round. So I didn't film that. I didn't film anything after I got home. Josh took over some of the other errands I needed to get done, like shipping out the order of stockings that were ready. And then we ended up going to get some dinner with friends, which was a lot of fun. And then the rest of my time was honestly spent trying to get the vlog from Wednesday edited and put up, and then this morning, since getting back from the doctor, I've been working on yesterday's vlog. And it's rough. When you get behind a day, they start to kind of pile up, and all of a sudden it's well, I've already edited a vlog today, so I'm not going to want to do another one this evening. I think I will be able to tonight, and I don't really know that there's going to be a ton in today's vlog, but we'll see. We'll see. I gifted the socks. She loved them. And I'm working on the last stocking of the year. I can't believe it. Yeah, so I'm working on getting this done with the hope of having it finished by the end of the weekend. I have a work meeting in Oklahoma City at 4 today, which who wants to go to work at 4 o'clock on a Friday, right? Apparently my coworkers. They all work other jobs as well, so for them it's best to go when they can get away from those. So yeah, I'm just gonna relax and do some knitting now and try to enjoy the middle part of my day where I'm not at the gastroenterologist or at work. Good morning. It is Saturday, and I filmed basically nothing yesterday on Friday the 16th. So yesterday I had an early morning wake up, which I would have already told you, went to the GI, got home, and then only had a few hours before I needed to head to a work meeting in Oklahoma City, which I'm not going to film that. And then from there, I was picking up some Christmas gifts that our agency had been able to get for one of the families we serve. And because I am in closer proximity to where that family is, I got the pleasure of being the one to hand those off and deliver them, which was a lot of fun. But it meant that I was gone for a really big chunk of the afternoon doing things that weren't really filmable. And I was tired. And I got home in the evening and was working on my knitting, and I thought, well, maybe I'll film some of this. But then I didn't. And then it's kind of, I feel like there's been a small, like, comedy of errors kind of situation where I realized yesterday I'm, like, so far into this stocking, the last stocking of the year. Do you see what's wrong with it? I used little scrap balls that I thought were white up here. They're not white. This is white. This is off-white. It's so subtle, but it's definitely a different color. So it's gonna be fine. I decided to just keep going for now to get through more progress because I could not stomach ripping back this far. And what I'm planning to do is I'll come back here before I joined in the off-white and pick up this last row of red, and then I'll cut this off-white out, and I'll also pick up the first row of green all the way around, and then I'll knit the white up and sew them together. And there's a way of doing that with the Kitchener stitch that's completely invisible. You won't even be able to tell that I did it, especially once it's felted. So I'll only have to reknit this section here at the top of the stocking. I do think that the first 1 to 2 rows of these little bits are also off-white, but I think in the middle of the red, that's not going to show as much. I can see it though. We'll see. I'll replace this, and if this looks more obvious without the other off-white, then I might go in and duplicate stitch over those stitches, just like I do for the names at the top of the stocking. So I've started the very first row of the heel. My dream would be to get this knitting finished today, and it would be amazing to just get them felted and drying. We'll see. I've been at nighttime, like when we get into bed, I've been knitting on that other project that I mentioned that I decided to knit as a gift for someone. And because I've been doing that, like winding down, going to bed, and because it's a gift, I haven't filmed it yet. I probably will when it becomes my main project and when I'm done with the stocking. So we'll see. I might bring you along for some of that. It's fun and it's cute, and I'm not sure if the person I'm gifting it to watches the channel, so I'm trying to figure out how to manage that because it's a secret name draw, so the person doesn't know that they're who's getting the gift. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. The second comedy of errors situation is that I woke up this morning. Well, I woke up to Louis screaming. He's sad about something. I don't know. But also a friend had texted me to let me know that the video I uploaded yesterday for Thursday, the audio was missing. And so I went back on my computer. There's no reason the audio should have been missing, technically. And so I started to re-export it. And then the audio went away again. It's the weirdest thing. So I re-imported the audio, re-exported the video. I think that has fixed the problem now, and I am re-uploading December 15th, but I apologize for the missing audio on that video, and I apologize that I don't really have a vlog for yesterday. I think I'm just going to lump it in with today if I do enough today. And if not, it might also get lumped in with Sunday. It might just kind of be like the weekend before Christmas vlog. Because I don't mind the filming and editing, but sometimes when I'm not doing very much, it's hard to come up with enough to put in to make it a long enough video to be worth watching. So I appreciate y'all for being patient with me and coming along on this journey with me. I hope that the vlogs so far have been enjoyable, and I'm excited to see what there will be in this last week of Vlogmas. I can't believe it. We are 1 week away from the end of Vlogmas. I am thinking I'll probably record like a Christmas to New Year montage vlog, because that's when we'll be doing a lot of the holiday things with family, and I would love to include some of that for you too, but I'm not going to keep doing a daily vlog after the 24th, I don't think. I think 24 days is enough, but I would like to show some of that footage of like time with family and travels and all of that. So it might just kind of be like the week post Christmas vlog to wrap up the very end of Vlogmas. So that was all very long-winded, which will take up plenty of time in the video. But I also know you don't want to just see me sitting in this recliner every day. Me either, y'all. I should do something about my hair. I'm so tired. The new medication I started, I can't have anything to eat for half an hour after. And so I haven't had my coffee and breakfast yet. Okay, so to attempt to reknit this part in white, what I am doing is first going through, this cuff was knit with a size 6, and the rest of the stocking was size 8, so I'm going through with the size 6 on the last round before I introduced the white or cream or off-white or whatever color it is. And so you just go through one leg of each stitch. It's easier if it's the right leg because then it's not going to be twisted. And I'm just going to keep continuing on until they're all on this needle, and then I will cut into the knitting and unravel back to that row so that I can reknit it with the new color. Okay, so I have picked up my stitches all the way around, and I even got my beginning of round lined up on the first try, which is nice. It's not necessary for what I'm going to do, but it helps make it cleaner and easier. So I could probably try to find some way to like unravel all of this, but honestly, I'm just not too worried about. This was a lot of small scraps of this whitish stuff, and I'm really not worried about keeping it. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut around here close to the red, and it's dropping little poofs of white things, but I just want to get this done. All right, so I've separated off this, and I left quite a bit of white here because next I'm going to go around and pick up the dark green stitches so that they're on hold waiting for me when it's time to graft. Okay. Now I'm just looking for some ends that I can pull on that might start this just unraveling. Surely somebody around here is going to be in the mood for that. or I'm just going to pull out bits of fluff forever. It's okay. I still think this was quicker than just cutting like a stitch and trying to unravel from there. But maybe I just wanted to cut into my knitting. This is gonna also unravel the round that's got one red, one white stitch, which is fine because I need to reknit that round, but I didn't want to cut that yarn because I'm hoping there's enough that I can just reuse it for that row and not have to reintroduce more ends. All right, so we're back to the last red round, and the next round is knit one white, knit one red. So I'm going to introduce a ball of what I am pretty positive is white. It's the whitest I have, so if it's wrong, it's just going to be a different color, but I think it will be better. And I'm just going to use this live red yarn here to knit this round. Add back in a stitch marker to help me keep track. Oh, almost forgot that after this round, the pattern changes to the size 8 needle. So wait to add the marker till I finish this round. All right, so I've knit my colorwork round and cleaned up my mess. I'm gonna place my beginning of round marker, and this pattern calls for 11 rounds of white after this row. When I join it to the other piece of the stocking, that's gonna add 1 row, so I'm only gonna knit 10 rounds right now, and then get ready to graft them together. Okay, I finished knitting the new stockinette section, and if I put it next to the old one, you can see they're definitely different colors. I hope that comes through on the camera, but this one is definitely white, and this one is off-white. So ridiculous. So what I'm going to do now is pick up the green stitches in the same way that I did the red ones up here, and then remove this old section so that I can graft the new one onto the stocking. All right, all my stitches, except for these 4 I just dropped, are picked up again. And I removed the old stockinette section. I have the 2 sections with their wrong sides together, right sides facing out. And what I'm basically going to be doing is stitching 1 more round of knitting between the 2 so that if it opens up, you'll see there, it'll be joined seamlessly right here. So I'm using what was the working yarn from the white knitting. I'm going to thread it on a tapestry needle. I have cut it off of the ball. And then I just have these stoppers because it's a little crowded on my needles. But once I get going, there shouldn't really be any more risk of it falling off. It's just here at the start when it's crowded. So, okay, I've done the first few stitches and you can see it just looks like another row of knitting. If any of these stitches are a little too loose, then I can come back through afterwards and tighten them up, just kind of tug on them and shift the extra yarn around, but I'm not very worried about it because it's going to get felted and I feel like those differences aren't really going to show up anyway. This is not a Kitchener stitch tutorial, but the way that I remember is knit off, purl on, purl off, knit on. And you just repeat those two motions over and over again all the way across. And you knit the front needle where the knits are facing you, and you purl the back needle where the purls are facing you. And I always do it in one motion through both loops. So knit off, purl on, purl off, knit on. It gets pretty quick and seamless once you're used to doing it. Micah 5:2-5. But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times. Therefore Israel will be abandoned until the time when she who is in labor bears a son, and the rest of his brothers return to join the Israelites. He will stand and shepherd his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they will live securely, for then his greatness will reach to the ends of the earth. And he will be our peace. When the Assyrians invade our land and march through our fortresses, we will raise against them 7 shepherds, even 8 commanders. Ezekiel 34:11-31. For this is what the sovereign Lord says: I myself will search for my sheep and look after them. As a shepherd looks after his scattered flock when he is with them, so I will look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered on a day of clouds and darkness. I will bring them out from the nations and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them into their own land. I will pasture them on the mountains of Israel, in the ravines and in all the settlements in the land. I will tend them in a good pasture, and the mountain heights of Israel will be their grazing land. There they will lie down in good grazing land, and there they will feed in a rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. I myself will tend my sheep and have them lie down, declares the sovereign Lord. I will search for the lost and bring back the strays. I will bind up the injured and strengthen the weak, but the sleek and the strong I will destroy. I will shepherd the flock with justice. As for you, my flock, this is what the sovereign Lord says: I will judge between one sheep and another, and between rams and goats. Is it not enough for you to feed on the good pasture? Must you also trample the rest of your pasture with your feet? Is it not enough for you to drink clear water? Must you also muddy the rest with your feet? Must my flock feed on what you have trampled and drink what you have muddied with your feet? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says to them: See, I myself will judge between the fat sheep and the lean sheep. Because you shove with the flank and shoulder, butting all the weak sheep with your horns until you have driven them away, I will save my flock, and they will no longer be plundered. I will judge between one sheep and another. I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will make a covenant of peace with them, and rid the land of savage beasts, so that they may live in the wilderness and sleep in the forests in safety. I will make them and the places surrounding my hill a blessing. I will send down showers in season. There will be showers of blessing. The trees will yield their fruit, and the ground will yield its crops. The people will be secure in their land. They will know that I am the Lord when I break the bars of their yoke and rescue them from the hands of those who enslaved them. They will no longer be plundered by the nations, nor will wild animals devour them. They will live in safety, and no one will make them afraid. I will provide for them a land renowned for its crops, and they will no longer be victims of famine in the land or bear the scorn of the nations. Then they will know that I, the Lord their God, am with them, and that they, the Israelites, are my people, declares the sovereign Lord. You are my sheep, the sheep of my pasture, and I am your God, declares the sovereign Lord.